Hello everyone, we are from Group 1 and today we'll be presenting to you our project of a food-based website that is hosted on AWS service. Our team consists of Puthika, Panharith and me. So let's go over the table of content. We will be talking about the introduction of what our project is about, the MillDB, which is an open source API that we use to implement into our website. The web service that we use to host the website from AWS showcase our website called Food Engine, and finally the deployment of the AWS service. Now, so what is a food engine? A food engine is a website that our team created intended to be a food searching website. With Food Engine, you could search up your leftover ingredient to see what food can be made using that ingredient. Not only that, it searches up the meal that can be made into, you can only see the detail of how it is made as well. And like I mentioned before in the table of content, our website is built using an open source API called the MillDB. The reason why we use an API is, first of all, an open source API can contain a database that is already written. So instead of spending most of our time creating our own database and using any AWS service, for the database, we can use the database that is provided from the API and now is a prototype of the project. Although even with the database from the API, it only contains 100 type of meals for us to use.
So onto our web service. In this project, we will only use S3 and EC2 servers from AWS. And the main service that we are using now is S3 because it is used to host the website, and we only use EC2 servers for the IP address only. We could use more servers to improve our website performance, but due to limitation like budget, we won't be able to use more servers for our project. But why instead of hosting on EC2, we choose to host on S3? So first, let us compare between S3, EC2, and Elastic Beanstalk. And first of all, I want to keep in mind that our website is a static website, which is a decisive factor, including the server cost factor, into deciding the server to host. So S3 allows you to basically host a static website. So it only hosts static websites, whereas there is a significant cut in cost because it has no server technology and no server is used. And compared to other services that allow web hosting, you can see that EC2 also allows static hosting. It actually hosts both static and dynamic website. The server cost for the EC2 already incurred because it is using a server for a front end, back end, or even PHP, in which all of these are there. And backend is always required when it comes to hosting on EC2, which is not the case when it comes to S3. And then there is Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk help deploy web apps, and the server's costs are definitely incur because even in Elastic Beanstalk, even if it's a web app, there has to be a front end or back end, so server costs are always incurred. And just like EC2, PHP is used as a server tag, but different from S3. So by comparing these three services, we can see that both S3 and EC2 hold the host static website. So why do we still need to host our website on the S3? So using S3, we can keep track of deploy website with zero maintenance costs. So you don't need any server cost, meaning we can do it for free. And once we make the website and host it on S3, it will be always virtually available until you delete the bucket. And finally, we can see that there is no server cost incurred. And there's a massive reduction in cost as well. And some more information on the S3 is that S3 is a storage service provided by Amazon Web Service. It is a free tier accessible, and if we have free tier accessible available to us, and meaning that we will have a free storage of 5 GB free storage that is available for us as well to use when we use the S3. And finally, no server is needed, so it reduces the cost as well, which makes S3 the most effective AWS service to host a static website since it's cost effective. And so now I will demonstrate on the website a little bit before we're talking about the deployment. So as you can see right here, we are using EC2 just to create an IP address for the website. And we are using S3 to host the website itself. So this is our website right here. The website is called Food Engine, which essentially is a meal-based website where you can search up an ingredient. So for example, if you have an egg in your refrigerator and you want to know what can that egg do, what food can it be made into? So you can simply search the ingredient. For example, the ingredient is egg. So you search egg and you see, voila. The egg can be made into some breakfast, some sandwich, other stuff. And it's really helpful if you're trying to make a home meal by yourself. And not only that, you can see what meal can be made into with that ingredient. You can actually get a recipe. You can see here which type of food it is. For breakfast is pork, and you can also get the instruction of how you can cook that meal as well. And not only you get the instruction, you also get the video of how that meal is made. So when you click watch the video, it will go into a YouTube video where they show you how that meal is being made. And all of that is coming from, all of this data is coming from an API, which we have talked about before. The API is called Free Meal the Meal Database, which is a free API. If you are using free, it only limited to 100 items. And we're using this API because we don't actually have time to implement our own database. And this website help the API help us a lot. And this is all for my part. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Panharith. I'm from Group 1, and in this part, I will be talking about the demo version of our website. And as my teammates mentioned from earlier slide, we are using Amazon S3 and EC2, and S3 is pretty simple. You can see here, you can create a bucket. You can create a bucket, and this I created 2 versions of my bucket. The first one, the first one is just a zip file, but with this bucket, I implement a policy. I implement a bucket policy onto this. You can see here, when you click on the link, you can download the file, and you can, if I share this to you, you can also follow the example that I'm about to show you. And that's the first one. It's a zip file. The second one is the second one is just a regular file, and if you click on your folders and you click on index.html, it gives you a link to your Amazon to your website. And you can see here, this is just a website that link to your S3. It has no link to your EC2 yet. So in this example, I'm using the first one to connect to my EC2, to our EC2. I think this is the easier way to link to your EC2. So how do you link from your S3 to your EC2? So first, you need to go to your EC2. Here, EC2 here, you click on connect, and you need to make sure your EC2 is running. You click on connect, and you go to here SSH client, and you copy this. When you create your S3 bucket, you have to download your demo VP. That's your key pair to your S3 to your S3. You have to download it, and you have to save that file and to give your EC2 access to your S3. So you copy this and you put it in. You can choose either command prompt on Windows. You can choose command prompt or PowerShell. On Mac, you can choose terminal. For me, I choose PowerShell, and you can choose. You can just choose a command prompt. So you just copy this and you just click enter. It will be a while before it started your EC2. And just wait a moment. And you see here, I've already connected to my EC2. So when you first click this, we can copy this to your PowerShell terminal, you get to ask yes or no. And then if you click yes, you have to get the file that I talk about, the demo v.p when you create your bucket. So you have to save your file in a very easy way to find. And if you want to find it, you can just click CD. And the easy way is to just put it on your desktop. So you can just click CD desktop, and you can find the key pair on desktop. So for now, I already connected it, so I don't really need to do it. So when you're in your EC2, you need to make sure that you log in as a user. So you have to do sudo as sudo su. And now you as a user now, you root means that you are as a user. You need to make sure you are in this phase. And then when you reach here, you have to make sure that your EC2 are up to date. So if you want to know if you update, you can just click sudo yum update. And then that would mean that your EC2 would update itself, and you have to make sure your EC2 are up to date. And then after that, you have to download your Apache on your EC2. To do that, you can just sudo yum install httpd. Then this will download your Apache on your EC2. When you install your Apache on your EC2, you have to start your Apache. So you can just click system ctl start httpd. Then it's now start, and you have to enable your Apache. Just write system ctl and enable httpd. If you want to know whether your Apache is running, you can just do system ctl status httpd. And now if you see active running, it means that your Apache is running on your EC2. And if you find it hard to read, you can just click clear, and everything clear for you. And after you start your Apache on your EC2, you have to go to your EC2 and copy your your IP here. For me, I already did it. So when you first click copy this link, you don't get the website instantly. You got an error. And so you have to you don't get your website yet. So you see here, it's on home EC2 user. You have to change your directory of your EC2. And if you don't change, you don't get your website, and you don't get your so you don't connect to your S3 yet. So how do you do that? When you get that website, the first time you get the website, you get a you get instruction from Amazon. For me, I can just show you how to do it manually. You can just cd var www.html. If you don't get the instruction from the Amazon, you can just manually writing cd var html. And when you get to here, you just do this, and now you're in. You need to make sure that your directory is in here. If it is not, your EC2 will not connect to your S3. And then when you get here, you write wget, and you go to your you go to your S3, and you get the URL from your S3. You click on the zip file, you get to here, you copy this URL from your S3, your zip file, and then you paste it on your EC2 on the terminal, and you get here, your EC2 now are connected to your S3. And then you can just, how do you know that? You can just write ls. And now when you first write ls, and when you first connect to your S3, you don't get you don't get this. You only get your zip file, cloud project main.zip. And for me, I already unzipped the file. So if you get only the zip file, you have to unzip the file. To unzip the file, you can just write unzip, and you write the file zip name. And you can just do that. If I do it, it will overload my my folder. So when you get here, you have to unzip the folder. You just write your zip file name, and then it's unzipped. And then that's it. You just now you have to system start your HTTPD again. System ctl start HTTPD. When now you start, you go to your EC2, you copy your IP address and paste it on the browser, and you get your file. Yeah, you get your project file on your website on your IP address. You can also create elastic IP address. For me, I already created it. You can just go down and you will find the elastic IP address here, and you allocate it. Yep, I already created, so I don't have an option to create more. And yeah. So, and so that's our IP address. And if you want to have your website, www.shop.com, you have to create your domain. So if you create your domain, you go to Route 53. This means that you have domain is not for free. You have to pay for your domain. But in our case, we don't have to buy it. So I just have to show you how to create EC2. Yeah, and when you go here, you have to buy domain to allow you to have a website name. So for now, we don't need to do it. It's not a priority. As long as you get for our main objective is to get our IP address and the the link from our S3. So when you get IP address, you can share it with anyone, and anyone can access to your website. And that's it for this demo. S3 is simple, is easy. You upload to S3 and you get the link to your S3. But when it comes to EC2, you have to follow the process to get IP address. And that is it for the demo version. I hope this would help you create your own website on Amazon cloud. Thank you for being such an attentive audience.